Okay, I don't know what's happening, but I'm not seeing my camera on. So I don't know why live is not working tonight, everybody. Well, no, doesn't look like anybody is here, so I guess it's not meant to be for today. This is my second go. I checked the camera, it was working, and now I'm not seeing anything. So what? Okay. Well, this is my attempt at live. I don't know if this is coming through. Maybe just the audio, no camera. And this is Mercury retrograde shadow. Mercury's retrograding on the 1st, so we're already feeling it. Okay, well, I was here. There's no camera, so I'll maybe do a video tomorrow. And, well, somebody's here. Okay. Can you, whoever's here, do me a favor and tell me if you can see me in the chat? Or can you just hear me? I would really appreciate it. All right. Well, I can't tell if this is working or not. I don't have any video on my end. So I'm assuming you can't see me. So I'm going to just, I guess, duck out. Maybe I'll try one other thing I can do. I'll come back. But if you're here, anybody? I see a few people here. Can you just put no video, or maybe you can't even hear me? Oh, okay. Mia, hello, Mia. Can you see me, or can you only hear me? I'm not sure what to do. I don't see myself, but maybe you can see me and I can keep going. This is very odd. Very glitchy. Well, Mia, can you help me out here and let me know? Do you see me? Can you hear me? You can see me and you can hear me too? Well, obviously you can hear me if you responded. Okay, well, I'll just keep going. I have no idea how the camera looks or the angles or the anything, but Mia's here and I'm just going to keep going, demonstrating, you know what, this is how life mirrors, or how we sort of have to dance with what shows up, right? And that's it. I think we have to learn how to dance and be flexible and accept what is and keep going. I like to say keep going and keep growing, right? But thank you, Mia. If Mia wasn't here, I would have stopped because I literally don't see anything. So I don't know, except for the chat's working. So yay. All right. Well, I'm gonna continue with what I had prepared for today, and hopefully when this goes when it gets uploaded after I'm done with the live, video will be intact, audio will be intact, and all that good stuff. So yeah, straight away, Mercury retrograde, let it be known. Mercury retrograding on April 1st is let it be known that we're going to have a little bumpy time possibly. Okay. So, well, welcome to the Soul Nurturer channel. I have had a sort of a philosophy since I started doing videos here that when I meet my clients in person or when I do workshops in person, I don't get to edit. I just show up and see what comes. And that's the same vibe here, especially with the live. I have an idea of what I want to talk about. I have a couple quotes I want to share. But the reason I don't edit is because I really want us all, I'm encouraging us all to embrace showing up just as we are, to keep going, even though things are glitchy and not working as we'd like them to. Let everything just be as it is. Show up anyway. And I almost quit. If I didn't have a viewer here, I would have just said, not working, give up. So how many times do you try to do something and it's glitchy, not working, not flowing, and you give up? Anybody have that experience? Well, I hope on this channel, what I offer here is a place for you to come and receive something to support you on your journey. I like to say that I help people reclaim soul potential in order to fulfill, your possibilities, your higher possibilities, not your conditioned possibilities, your higher possibilities. So that's what the Soul Nurturer channel is about, to reclaim that potential, nurture that potential. And also, I like to remind those who view my channel that, and I think that are drawn here, is that we are souls having a human experience, right? for me, that offers grace. In our human experience, there's the mess of life. There are the challenges, the obstacles, life unfolding, life happening to help, I believe, cultivate what is needed to emerge more of our soul potential. So, welcome to the channel. If this is your first time, thank you. I know, Mia, you've been here before. I'm grateful for you showing up today. I usually have a few more people with me, but however it goes is how it goes, right? Okay, I'm going to look at my notes because I do want to, I finally got a question. I always say to my viewers and my clients, ask me questions. What do you want me to answer? What's on your mind? What's on your heart? Where are you sort of stuck on the journey of unfolding or transformation? What doesn't make sense? How can I be of support? This is from my soul to yours. I've been on this journey for a number of years, without giving away my age, quite a few, and a spiritual journey, a transformational journey. I've been supporting people for over 25 years, somewhere in there, a long time. And so if I have something that can support you, then that is definitely part of my soul mission, part of the reason I continue to show up on this platform, even though it's not always comfortable for me. So, welcome, welcome. So, I did get this question. What do I mean? A client asked me this. What do you mean when you say reclaim your soul, reclaim your soul potential? And so, I thought I would cover that today. But first, I'm going to start with a poem. And I see a few other people are here too. So, let me know who's here if you are comfortable. Actually, I'm going to back up a step because what I need, and maybe some of you need, and this is my new format that I almost stepped over, which is to just do a little drop-in meditation before I launch into the topic. So, Mia, I hope you can join me here. And if you're watching this on replay, I encourage you just to pause with me for a couple of minutes to connect with yourself, to disconnect from the external world and drop into your beautiful world that you and only you have access to, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and take a moment together, closing our eyes and turning inward, disconnecting from the external world, and being willing to be present to this moment, present to yourself, present to your soul. And for some people, that idea is a question. What does that even mean? I'm going to talk about that a little bit more tonight as well. But right now, just focusing, noticing, meditation to me is sacred awareness. It's when we drop in to notice how we are doing, how our inner world feels, how our mind is, especially like for me, it's the end of my workday. So my mind is rearranging, shutting down. I sort of access a different place in my mind when I'm working with clients one-on-one. Definitely more flow of energy outward. Right now, I'm just thinking of this video or this time together live as just sitting with another soul friend. But just feel into your body. Follow your breath inward. Notice your breathing. How are you breathing? And you can override any stress response by breathing all the way into your belly. Oftentimes when we are in a stress response, we're shallow breathing, right? Just in your chest, and you can just let your body mind system know all is well by breathing in deeply all the way into your belly. And let's do that now. And just exhaling the day or whatever you'd like to release in this moment, letting go. And I always like to suggest when you drop into a meditative time to assess what you need in this moment and then just breathe it in. Like for me, I'm feeling a little, kind of just not disoriented, discombobulated a little from having a glitchy camera, from having some other things going on today. So I want to breathe in presence, just being present in this moment fully breathing that feeling in and letting go of distractions. Coming here, right now. And just assessing, noticing your mind. What are you thinking about? What's running through your mind? Notice your body. What's your energy level like? And when I ask the question, can you connect to your soul? What does that feel like? Does it feel like I wouldn't even know what that is? Or does it feel like, got it right here? And I'm going to talk about that today. How do we reclaim that connection to soul, where our possibilities and potential is? Obviously, when in awake states, we're usually operating through our ego. We're navigating with our conscious awareness. And often, unless we've done a lot of inner work or soul work, we are still navigating our world from our conditioned self, not our soul essence or our authentic self. So just noticing. And just you might want to rub your thighs, making connection with your body. Put your hand over your heart, letting your mind body system know I'm here, I'm available. That you're available to yourself. You're available as you are listening to me, to your responses, to what arises in you through this time together. And we'll simply just open our eyes and come on back. And I like to just do that for at the beginning. Although we've had a wobbly beginning, and I want to invite you or encourage you when things are going wobbly or sideways, pause, turn within, ask what you need, check in with your body, your being, and this question of connect with your soul, right? So if anybody wants to chat with me in the chat about this, if you want to ask questions or give me your responses, please do. If you're watching the replay, please do comment. Comments generate, the YouTube algorithm gets my videos out to people who may need them. So I always say whenever you comment, it's not just for you, but you're supporting me and supporting others. So thank you. Okay, so let me read now the poem or the quote I was going to read before we drop in more to this topic. So this quote from, let me find it down here, Marion Woodman. A life truly lived constantly burns away veils of illusion, burns away what is no longer relevant, gradually reveals our essence until at last we are strong enough to stand in our naked truth. That's Marion Williamson. Marianne Woodman, not Marianne. Marianne Woodman. Okay. So that nakedness, that stripping away, the shedding. And by the way, how did the lunar eclipse in Libra feel for you? We're just coming out of that. I'm wondering, I know that I've talked to a lot of my clients and friends who felt it quite strongly. So I thought this was the perfect topic, just coming out of the lunar eclipse, but being in the eclipse portal, because eclipse portals tend to sort of course correct us, help us shed, especially the lunar eclipse, the full moon, shed what isn't authentically ours, release, oftentimes we can feel a lot of emotions, stirring up our subconscious material so we can become present. That's what full moons do in general. It's like, okay, I didn't want to see that, but I need to see that. You know what I mean? So we can see, be aware of what we're doing from that conditioned self, or when our wounded self comes front and center, so we can see how we can tend and mend our own hearts, our own psyches, right? I'm gonna take a sip of water. I have a little tickle in my throat. So for me, the reclaiming of oneself is becoming aware of where you're off track. and where you started disconnecting from your soul essence. Now, think about this. Those of you who are parents, or when you can think about yourself as a child, or if you, I do suggest that, and I always recommend this to my clients, get a baby picture of yourself. I have mine usually on my, I don't know where it is. I usually keep a picture of my toddler self on my desk as a reminder. For me, when we look at our younger selves in pictures, we can see the soul essence there. We can reconnect to who we came in as, right? Before we learned it wasn't safe to be ourselves, or in order to fit in, to get those basic needs met, we started to suppress, deny, push things into the shadow. We started to um, develop the persona, the conditioned self, in order to meet those basic needs of being safe, belonging, receiving love, all those things. So that's the quickest way I know to remember yourself. Like if you can remember or reclaim your souls, to remember those moments as a child that there was maybe pure joy, or just um, being in essence. And again, this is hard to track. Like for me, I can still remember having so much joy in the picture that I have that reminds me of my soul essence. Is, I think I'm 3 months old, and a big grin and shiny bright eyes, where it feels to me like my soul is shining through. So that's one way to think about you as a child, or to get a picture out and be curious about the essence of that child. And when you began to change, when you began to hide that beautiful essence, when you perhaps felt it wasn't safe to fully be yourself, when you became more conditioned to the human experience and more disconnected from the soul. I hope this is making sense. I don't know if okay. Oh, there's a few more people. So thank you for responding, Mia. Back to the, she's talking about the moon eclipse helped me to release old beliefs and cycles that no longer serve me. Awesome. Did you watch my videos on the eclipse? My take on it, I hope. And if so, I hope they helped you, because that was pretty much, you're right on track. It was about releasing beliefs and cycles that no longer serve. And this particular focus with it in Libra was about relationships, relationship with self, relationship with others. So, okay, thank you for letting me know. So, this inner child work is a way of reclaiming soul potential, but reclaiming becomes, it comes through what I call sacred awareness, being aware. And this is why it's important to meditate, important to turn within and feel into your body. Because I can imagine, and maybe you can answer this too as you're watching live or in the replay. You know those moments where you just feel like so clear, so free, and maybe you have more joy bubbling through. Or for me, when I am deep in my soul essence, I'm like, this joy and laughter comes so deep. It feels like just like this precious energy, right? Or for me, being out in nature. I always say to people, go out in nature, because when we are in nature, we are called back to our true nature, to the essence of who we are, our true nature, right? So, go back to notes here. So, the tricky thing about reclaiming yourself, reclaiming your soul, I'll say, it's kind of this awareness, like, okay, like, so persona is a term that Jung used to describe the mask we wear in social interactions. The mask we wear. In astrology, typically we think of the ascendant as the persona. It's kind of like who you allow people to see you as, until you're comfortable or safe to let them see deeper into the essence. So, in essence, you can count how many times I say essence. Um, we're kind of pretending, right? And so reclaiming soul is no longer pretending to be who people, like who you became in order to be safe or to fit in, um, or who people wanted you to be. That's a lot about conditioning too. Think about conditioning is before we're born, even. And again, I always have this little disclaimer. I'm not blaming parents or anybody. We've all done the best we can with our conditioning and with our, how do we do life? How do we do this human experience, right? But conditioning begins even before we're born. When a baby is named, that is, to me, that's the first, like, this is who I expect you to be as parents. I love that a lot of younger parents now are stepping away from naming the baby before they're here and waiting to meet their baby, waiting to meet that soul, to get a sense of who that soul is and what name most supports that energy, that baby. And I also believe, in indigenous cultures, there's a renaming ceremony at a certain age. When that child is aware of who they are, then there's a renaming ceremony, or the elders will see their gifting and more of who their soul is, and then there's a renaming. So I think it's important, and I encourage people, select a name, whether you go by it socially or it's just a name that really resonates with you, feels connected to your soul. But it's tricky when, as we get older too, that people know us a certain way and they like that person. That person, when especially our family members, they want you to be who they know you to be, so they feel safe and comfortable. And when you feel out of alignment, like you're not your soul essence, it can be challenging and it can be very lonely, I'll tell you, because it requires separating from what's familiar in order to emerge who you truly are. So I hope some of this is connecting and resonating. And I'll just check in with Mia, since Mia's here with me. Is this landing? Do you have any questions? Usually I have a few more people here that are interacting with me, but it's you today, Mia. It's me and Mia. I love it. That's my niece in love's name, my husband's niece. So this is tricky because, of course, we have one of the basic needs we have is to be loved and to belong. But to reclaim yourself, there is a phase of, I have to risk separating from what is familiar, people I love, what I do that is connected to my conditioned self in order to emerge who you truly are. And this can be a very lonely time. I'm going through another phase of re-emerging myself right now. I have a transit, which is Pluto in the first house. First house is identity. Remember, too, I said it's connected to the persona. That's the ascendant, and then we get into the first house, how we navigate our who the I am, who I'm being. Pluto is the planet of deep transformation and raw and real and authentic. And so I noticed even before Pluto went into my first house 4 years ago, it was close enough to the ascendant that was making a difference. This is when I decided I was going to talk about astrology publicly, even though I had fear. And more of my tools that I work with, even though I had a little fear. Fear, what was the fear? Fear of being judged, fear of losing some clients, fear of what other people thought about that. Well, when you're reclaiming your soul essence, you have to let all that go. You have to let go of what other people will think about you. Reclaiming your soul essence is between you and creator, nobody else. And it's tricky work. And again, it can feel very isolating because there's that separation as you're emerging. And it does require too a good, like, think about emerging. It is getting back to the essence. So it's kind of like when the caterpillar goes into the chrysalis. Um, Even though it was a caterpillar, we'll just say the caterpillar is the conditioned self, even though caterpillars are the authentic self, just for this little analogy. When we're reclaiming soul essence, it can feel like this, that we go into the chrysalis and we dissolve all that is the conditioning, and we allow, when a caterpillar does it, they dissolve to this gooey substance, and there's what is called the imaginal cells. This is how I learned it from one of my teachers. Imaginal cells that hold the blueprint of the butterfly. Just like us, we have the blueprint. Our soul essence is underneath all of that conditioning, which we have to dissolve, release, or recognize it. And also recognize, we're always going to have an ego as long as we're alive. I love Wayne Dyer said ego is earth guide only. We do need an ego. We need a name to function and, certain things in this world, in the human experience. But beyond that, um, the soul is always with us. Okay. So for me, soul essence is, again, it's like a pure feeling, that pure laughter, that pure moment of awe and wonder. It's looking through your life through the lens of something richer and deeper. And there is this sense of guidance when you connect there, right? And this is where I find a lot of my clients, I try to work with them in a way that I'm bringing them back to their soul wisdom, to what they know. And I may say something, it's not me. I'm reflecting back something they said in another way, or guiding them back to that soul wisdom. And when something resonates, that's soul. There's a knowing, there's a deepening, right? So, okay. So I wanted just to say a few more things about the tools that can help you. Of course, inner child work, as I mentioned, shadow work, right up there. Because what is shadow work? It's reclaiming what you've denied, suppressed, and it's not all negative. It's could be the good stuff too. It could be your bright and shiny self, that you got a message that it wasn't safe for you to be that person, or you felt judged or shamed, and so you suppressed it, right? I remember years ago, I was in my 20s and I was dating someone, and he would tell me that I wasn't funny. Now, remember, I came in with joy. As a kid, I was very funny. I like to play, you know, tricks and joke around a lot. I have a moon in Leo. I'm funny, okay? I'm silly. But when he said that, it felt so like shaming, and oh my goodness, I better not tell jokes anymore. Suppression of soul essence, right? And then it took me a while to reclaim that and say, wait a minute, I am funny. And maybe I'm not funny for everybody, but when I feel relaxed and just kind of like at ease in my being and my soul is shining through, I love a good laugh. I love to help people laugh. I'm joyful, right? So these are ways to notice. So shadow work is another tool. Dream work, these are my go-to tools. I'm a Scorpio. I love to do this work, but mostly because my main mission is to help people reclaim soul, right? So dream work for me is, again, top three. Reclaiming soul. And you can incubate a dream. You could literally say before you go to sleep, I want to be I want to connect more to my soul. I want to know my soul essence. Show me my soul essence more. Now, dreams are complicated, and we'll see probably a lot about what our subconscious mind is holding for us in that moment, or what is blocking that soul essence. But nonetheless, dream work will get you there. All of these things I work with my clients if you're interested. So again, in that soul tracking, I call it soul tracking, that's noticing yourself moment by moment, questioning, is this my conditioned self? Is this my soul? Or is this my wounded self? Or is this my empowered self? So I make a lot of distinctions there, but mostly it requires paying attention to yourself, tuning in, listening, What's your inner dialogue like? You might even ask, whose voice is this? Is this somebody? Was this one of my parents? Your essence, that voice is usually kind and loving and supportive. And when you hear your wisdom, that's it. You have that moment. People say they have their aha moments. I think that's when soul's breaking through, trying to guide you to the path of your true essence. So I hope this is making sense. And I'm gonna. Oh wow, I love it, Mia. You okay? So Mia's saying, is Mia's the name my soul chose to be called at the age of 40. The name my parents chose, I don't identify with. Exactly what I'm talking about. For me, I was born Victoria, and I love this name. But when I was a little girl, it was called Vicky. Hated that name. When I got older, I would try to tell people my name is Victoria. I resonated with Victoria, um, and no one would honor me because when I was younger, trying to teach people this is who I see myself as, I didn't. Um, I guess I didn't value myself enough to get them to value me. I think that's probably what was going on. Then I went through other nicknames, but finally I just said no. And I was in my 30s. No, I'm Victoria. That's my name. But I also have a little, other names. My husband has a bunch of names for me, and I like to play with names that are also essence names. But I love that you changed your name and claimed it. And I really encourage you to think about, what is my name? What does my soul want to be called? What's a name that fits the essence of my soul? And see what comes up. Oh, one other thing I would say is automatic writing. You can ask a question. What does my soul want me to know? Or how do I know when I'm in my essence? And just write across the page and see what comes. What does my soul want me to know? When am I most comfortable to be my soul self? What do I need to be more of my soul? How can I reclaim? And just write across the paper and see what comes, okay? All right, I'm going to leave you with one more quote, and then I'm going to wrap up. And I'm trying to remember, I didn't put who it is. So I have to look it up because I don't want to do that. I did that one time and I never came back. It's a quote that really speaks to what I'm talking about. So I'm going to look it up so I am accurate about who said it. I think that's important. And okay, let's go. So, okay. Oh, of course. It's Paulo Coelho. And I know every time I say his name, I'm probably saying it wrong. Coelho. No. Paulo. It's Coelho. Folks, I'm telling you, I'm not, I, yeah, I think the glitch with the video was probably a sign not to be here live today because I really feel out of sorts right now. But so here is the quote that I love that really speaks to what I was trying to convey, and hopefully it came through. The spiritual journey is about finding your own way, not copying someone else's path. The spiritual journey is a continuous process of shedding layers, letting go of what no longer serves you, and embracing your true essence. Okay, I'm glad I found. And you know what I want to do right now before I let you all go? We are going to, I'm going to pronounce it correctly. And if you're not familiar with his work, he has a book called The Alchemist. Have you heard of that book? And I'm going to pronounce his name on. I love this when you go to, you can just type anything in and ask for it to be pronounced. So here's how we say his name. Ready? Paulo Coelho. All right, there it is. Okay. Lisa's here. Hi, Lisa. So weird. I can't see anything. And I almost stopped. I started the video before and I went out because I didn't see myself. I thought there was a glitch. I came back and fortunately Mia was here to tell me she could see me and hear me. So I just continued, right? All right. Well, that's all I have for everyone tonight. And I hope there was something that was helpful. Before I go, Lisa, do you have any questions or anything you wanted to bring to the conversation of reclaiming soul? Anything? Well, I will be back probably either the end of this week, yeah, the end of this week to talk about Mercury retrograde and to talk about a little bit more of the total solar eclipse happening on April 8th, which we are in, eclipse portal right now. So I think that's why I feel a little wonky. I noticed the day of or the day before the partial lunar eclipse, I was completely unplugged. I was so drained. I was so tired. So I just surrendered and I used it as a, dropping into meditation, listening, listening, listening. But the solar eclipse, and I wonder, are any of you going to be in the path of totality? No, I don't know, Mia, if it's going to be in Portugal, but and Hawaii, I don't know either. Um, for me, it'll be a partial. It won't be total. And that's okay. We got to see the one that was a few years back with goggles, of course. We've got to be safe with this. But I'll be back a little bit more to talk about that. And let me know if you have any questions going forward with these Tuesdays. Tuesday lives are more about transformational soul work, inner work. So if you have a topic, that helps me. All right. Well, I hope you take good care of yourself. Pay attention to your nightly dreams. Listen to your soul. Get really clear. What is the communication? What is the guidance that's always available for you? Partial eclipse in Portugal also. Great. I want to come to Portugal. That is on my list for sure. So I get to live through you just being with me here, Mia. I'm so grateful that you're here. Grateful that you're here, Lisa, and whoever else was watching with us. And when you watch the replay, remember to comment under the video to help YouTube get my message out to others where it can be of help. All right, take good care. I'm going to wrap up now. Thanks for being with me. Take good care until next time.